like if you go on 55, all those houses that you see there way back, it's them.
Yeah.
All right, let's get started. Please rise. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all, and welcome. Chris, we're going to give you the floor.
Starting off.
Yep,
Just like that.
we got you right on first there. Yep,
I'm honored.
thanks for coming.
Of course. I just brought a few of these. We just printed these out last week. Just what we handed out actually on Halloween while my kids were grabbing treats. I was handing out
Thank you.
flyers out of a backpack.
Thank you.
Full of princesses.
Thank you.
I might as well hand it to her if I could.
Yeah.
I think my response already. John. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm very happy to be here. I had applied through the Millbrook Library to the Partners for Climate Action. They are a foundation located in the Mid-Hudson area. And they came up with a new initiative called the Funding Futures. And the idea of it is actually a very simple concept. It's just to go through a one-year planning process in which they just wanted to hear from the communities that were chosen for these awards, what were their priorities as a very simple concept, like what is their top three? We were one of 6 communities to get the award through the Millbrook Library. And since August, I've been working closely with Courtney and a larger committee, about 20 people currently. Kathy is on it as well. Of organizations, we have Innisfree, Carey Institute, the library, schools, Amy Watkins, the assistant superintendent. We have Stonewood Farms, Grace Church, and there's a number of others. I can send you a whole thing if you're interested. But the idea is very easy, is to just say, what do you care about in the community? And people have been, at the start of all this, were a little bit nervous about it. It was this change, right? Change of Millbrook. And I assured them that it's not change, it's building on the foundation that all of us have already inherited. I moved to this area in 2021. I have 2 young children. And why I applied and why I helped the library apply is because I want my children to live in the community that my wife and I chose. Because we chose it for a reason, not to change it, right? So we've gone over 200 project ideas. Some of them are duplicates, I will say. And we're analyzing and trying to understand what are the larger trends, what people are talking about. Originally, we were planning on, as part of the online survey through the library, was to actually list the projects that are part of the comprehensive plan. We had about an hour talk about it, about should we include them or was it too structured? Is it too leading? So we decided, like, ultimately to omit it, the projects of the comprehensive plan. However, I have told people, because people have brought it up, I said, if you want to submit projects on the comprehensive plan, of course you can. That said, we are trying to figure out a way of maybe having it as a link on the survey, because I don't think so many people know about it. Right now I'm doing presentations at a number of places. I'm doing the Millbrook Senior Club, a number of churches, and we're holding a luncheon next Saturday to meet with about 10 or 12 people in the community who we feel intersect on a number of levels, either socially, professionally, people who could talk about the project, because the only way this is going to work is that if somebody at least shares it with one other person. It's the only way it's going to work. So I know that you guys had done a survey a couple of years ago and you got about 700 people to answer. It's my goal to hopefully do over 1,000 if possible. But it has been shared online, it's being shared through all the organizations on our committee, and it is gaining traction. It just takes some time because you have to rebuild that trust and giving people that space to really share what they care about. However, I will say it's been overly positive. I was expecting it to be more negative, but it has been extremely positive. So that's kind of the project in a nutshell. I'm happy to answer any questions about it. I think the biggest piece is having you guys aware of it and knowing about it, and I am sorry that it wasn't clear at the start of this, but I assure you it's it was not on purpose.
So I'll speak to that just real quick. I was the one who said, Millbrook, listen, where did that come from? You know, we didn't hear, and it sounded like we're, you know, the town board was it now. We know that Gary had signed a kind of a letter of support at the beginning, but we didn't, you know, we would.
Oh, I didn't know the name of it.
Well, we would have hoped that you would have come in before, you know, everything happened, but I guess you wanted to secure the grant first. So, I mean, I'm all for the project. I'm not against the project.
course.
I think anytime you can get the public to give you feedback on anything, whether it's good or bad or indifferent, it's always terrific. It's important. But, you know, we had not heard about it.
No.
And then, when I brought it up, Gary said, oh, yeah, I signed and then I called the mayor, and the mayor says, yeah, I signed something, but I didn't really say I was all for it, because I really didn't understand it, but I think we're all on board
It's not good to
now,
sign
and
if you don't know what
I
you're signing.
applaud you for coming by, and I'll be by next Saturday to listen to more and
Yeah.
try to help support it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I am, and again, I do apologize. I thought the communication, I should have planned it ahead
Yeah,
of
I thought
time.
I thought I missed something, which I'm getting old, so I do miss stuff.
You know, and it started on Community Day, the big
Yes,
thing, and
yes.
he had a lot of people, which was a great place, you know.
Oh, yeah.
To do it, and
That's
even
good.
myself as being on here, that's why I came to hear this for the how many time, to make sure I understand, you know, it's just gathering, you know, information,
Yeah.
and, but
Like
I
what
do
the-
think,
So are we able, I'm sorry, Captain.
ahead, no, please.
Are we able to go on and see what, like, is there a list of what topics people want to, are concerned about?
We're keeping internal right now. So
You are.
actually, I should have kind of explained, and that's actually a good segue. I just want to open up to a few questions. So the timeline of this is we're going to be gathering ideas until January. And we're actually trying to hold something I'm going to be talking about at the luncheon, is the Spirit of Millbrook Award. We're going to be awarding 3 or 4 people in the community who we felt should be awarded for their long service, and there's an award committee who's kind of handling that about who we should choose, and it's going to be a really a nice event. But at that event, and it's going to be sometime at the end of January, we are going to show what projects that people could do a vote on. So we're actually, right now, so we're gathering up all these projects and ideas, and then it's going to go to a vote come spring. So we're going to gather until January. It's going to come out to a mail-out ballot in March, and then the top 3 ideas I'm going to be presenting to outside foundations who are interested in hearing what our community really cares about, and hopefully the goal of it is that they're going to actually allocate a special grant for our community only. That's the idea of it.
Okay.
So hearing our top 3 and then us applying for a grant to make them start to happen if there's within reason, I guess. But something I've been telling people is there's these broader ideas, but just imagine if we were applying for it as a grant or for a foundation or for a major gift to a donation, what would that look like? And what are those 3 projects?
We
So
could give you
that's-
about 30, like, right away.
No, I know, but only 3. And you can submit as many as you
submit as
want,
many.
but then it's going to be that. So the vote's going to happen through March, and then the top 3 are going to be I'm going to present on. That's the idea of it.
So like, what kind of questions or suggestions are you getting? Just for
So we've
instance-
heard a lot, I'm not gonna lie. There's quite a wide spectrum. So we've been hearing about the town park, that's come up quite a bit.
Bennett Park's come out, you know.
Bennett
new,
Park,
You know, ideas there.
hiking trail, the Thorn building, obviously. There's been some interesting, people have been talking about teen and youth programming quite a lot. About there's like a lack of housing, of course, has come up a number of times. Right now, so we're just taking a look at like what the trends are, and then my goal is that I'm going to kind of categorize them into larger groups, and then under those groups, people like could see like what the projects could entail. So that's what I'm looking at right now.
Good, sounds good.
All right.
Well, anybody have any questions for him?
I feel like you have a question.
No, just an observation. I don't know if you're aware that this board has formed a long-range planning committee that's looking at the town park up in Mattisville.
You might not.
And they're looking at structure, infrastructure, and our recreation director is looking at paralleling programs along that line. And there's an online survey right now, as of last Wednesday, and this is part of my report. We had about 108 people that have responded thus far
Nice.
on the priorities of just what they want up there.
Just for the
So
park.
that will become public information too, that you can maybe collate with yours.
Absolutely.
And it will give you a little bit better vision on, if that's the subject that's coming up
Yeah, if it keeps
It is.
coming up.
within yours,
Yeah.
that will give you some insight to what research we've done and what feedback we've done.
Well, I'm hoping, something that I've been hearing about this project and something that's come up a lot is that we're trying to avoid creating silos. That's great. That's great to hear, and I'm hopeful that that if somebody says town park, I could direct them maybe to you guys and vice. So like everybody's engaged.
So
in
jump
each
on
of
our
these
website, do our
projects.
survey, and we'll jump on yours.
Right,
Yeah.
I would do the same thing, because if the town park is one of those top three pieces, there's a
That would
there's a
give,
good chance.
that would give the town board a little bit more of a factual data,
Yeah.
that they too could go out after grants and so on too, which is ultimately what your goal is.
Yes, and actually, that's actually my day job, is a grant administration. So,
Good.
but that's great. Appreciate you sharing. Any other questions?
So your Spirit of Town Award? Spirit of...
Spirit of Millbrook,
Millbrook?
Spirit of Millbrook. And it really is a town-wide survey, but it just, that name just,
So-
Millbrook overshadows
Like,
Washington.
you'll take suggestions, will you?
Sure,
Okay.
sure, of course,
Yeah.
of course. If you
Yeah,
have any,
I have,
you can
yeah.
email me, absolutely.
Definitely. yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. We
Thanks,
appreciate
Chris.
you
Thanks
coming
for
in.
coming. Appreciate it
Kathy,
very
thank
much.
you.
Thanks for doing it first.
evening.
Yeah. Got an early night.
Yes, and I have plenty more at the library.
Perfect, thank you.
All right?
Thanks again.
See you.
All right.
Have a good night.
Yep.
Yeah, take care, Kathy.
Hi, Kat.
Yes, sir. You got it. I know.
Oh, hey. It's okay. It's good to see you. No, it's okay.
Roger, you have the floor.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Do you mind if I stand? It's just-
Go ahead. Whatever you
Easier in the
like.
diagram.
Whatever you like.
So, thank you very much, first of all, for letting me attend this meeting and discuss what I think is the important issue of the impact on safety of changes to Killearn Road. The Collier's report, which was mentioned by me and by Collier's in his response,
Right.
makes clear that in the driver-friendly parts of Killearn Road, the average speed is 43. In the more challenging parts of Killearn Road, the average speed is 26. And the concern is that changes to Killearn Road will make it more driver-friendly so that the speeds average up to 43. That's a 65% change. The percentage is interesting, but really what's important is that 30 miles an hour is considered a standard threshold for when conditions become more perilous, when the increase in incidents occur, and when the effects of those incidents become more serious. I will mention 2 or 3 studies to stand in for 100 studies. They're easy to find. But one of them says at 30 miles per hour, the risk of fatality is about 20% and severe injury about 50%. When you go up even just to 40 miles an hour, the numbers become, the risk of fatality bumps from 20% to 46%, and the risk of severe injury is in excess of 80%. AAA, Foundation for Safety, had similar numbers. It said the risk of death is 25% at 32 miles per hour and 50% at 42 miles per hour. So it is a serious concern once you get over a certain speed limit. I just handed the response by Colliers, and they don't dispute the fact that the more driver-friendly parts are 26 miles per hour, the more challenging parts are 43, and they impliedly concede that when you go to higher speeds, it becomes more dangerous in number of incidents and the effect of those incidents. What they say instead in this report is that what they're doing to the road won't have that impact. It won't make it better for people to drive at higher speeds. And to be clear, I'm not talking about the improvements in the parts that are unpassable during the winter, just the other parts that are being improved. Now, they say that won't happen. Oh, they're saying they're going to make only minor width adjustments. They say that those changes are not significant, but there's no statistical support for that, number one. And number two, if these changes are not significant, and if it's true, which they concede impliedly, that increases in speed increase these other problems that I've identified, why bother to make those changes in the dimensions of the road if they're not significant? And the statistics show what I've said. Let's confine the changes on Killearn Road to the areas that are unpassable. In the last page, I see that they say that they are going to address the matter with supplemental signing and so on. But to me, that's a good thing, but it lacks the kind of specificity that one can easily mention and enumerate. I did in my second email, talked about the introduction of additional signage, electrical signage, the occasional presence of the local sheriff, and more obvious in a way are the introduction of speed bumps or humps. And if there's a concern that those speed bumps or humps interfere with emergency vehicles, then you can use, what do they call them? Speed cushions or speed tables. The speed cushions are the irregular bumps that you sometimes see that allow you, if you move to one side of the road, to ignore it entirely. And the speed tables are just platforms that are raised over a certain area that don't interfere with the ability to drive forward. So to sum up, most of that, almost all of what I have to say, really, I do think that the concerns about speed are real. I think Colliers concedes that they're real. They're just saying that they're making some unimportant changes. And if they're unimportant, let's not make them at all. And regardless, they're palliatives that could restrict the possibility of these adverse events occurring. The final comment I have is that I ask that these be put on the town website. And I received a response, thanks to Christy the other day, explaining why the town doesn't want to do that. But these are, what I'm adverting to are statistical facts, statistics that were introduced in no small part by Colliers, which is the representative of the board. And I do think the average person, in deciding how to respond to Killearn Road, would want to know about the effect of, about the difference in speeds and the effects of those differences in speed. And I'm sure that they wouldn't want to think that you are indifferent to that. So I ask again that one or both of the short emails that are fact-driven be put on for people to read. And I doubt that I have any information that you'd be interested in inquiring about, but if you do, I'll answer any questions that you have. Otherwise, thank you very much.
Yeah. Joe, did you want to add
Yeah,
to this?
I don't mind responding to some of what Roger has to say. First of all, sort of backed into the definitive evidence category here. What they're implying with those statistics that they took were actual speeds. What you failed to mention was that the placement of ART1 is at the bottom of a half-mile hill where no one slows down. Most of the road is not impassable, that is not the word I'm using, but it is very tough to get up to any kind of significant speed without hurting yourself. Also, these speed humps or bumps or lumps, whatever, I find nowhere that they are legal. Even if they were, I would recommend that the board do not install them. Anything like that, including paint, as you will see on crosswalks, need signage. I mean, I could light that road up like the Van Wyck Expressway. I mean, with signage, if you start putting in speed bumps. They also become a liability because not everyone is going to slow down for that speed bump. And when they hit it, and when they do damage to themselves, their cars, etc., what you're going to have is a lawsuit. And whether or not they are justified, or we are justified in the fact that we put up signage, even if they are legal, which I don't believe they are, you still have liability. As far as Colliers, I spoke to them. They did not agree with your assessment that we're making the road wider necessarily. As a matter of fact, I was on it for about an hour yesterday. There are some areas that will widen the right-of-way with ditches. I'm not sure that we can accomplish a lot of the widening of the road. For example, I don't have an address. It's before you get down to the straightaway in front of John Ike's. There's a very narrow area, you know it, as you're coming down the hill. That's about 16 feet wide. And on
Right
the
where?
only side that you can,
Right where my property comes out on the Corn Road.
yeah, and right where, and there's rock there.
Yep.
And, you know, that's all going to be involved with the engineers when they do their recommendations and finalize, go through this whole thing. They're going to say to you, hey, you need to take this piece of property here, you'll be purchasing it. Do you want to cut out 10 foot of rock here to widen this road? As Roger said, some of that is not necessary. You're not going to get 20 feet throughout the whole road. But we'll see. We'll see what it costs. I do agree with Roger in that speed. I've been on the road. I can tell you whose cars they are coming at me from the dust behind them, even before I see the cars. And I have in your budget, which you will approve tonight, and this was in September I came and asked for this, there's $20,000 for enforcement, which is the only way that you are going to cut speed down. And I'm not even talking specifically about Killorn Road. I'm talking about all your roads. So, once you approve it tonight, then I make a contract with the sheriff's office, because we don't have a police department to do that.
A brief reply. First of all, I especially appreciate the parts where Joe said he agrees with me. I think that I will not argue about those parts. I don't argue about any of them, really. The question of the legality of the speed bumps and so on, I don't think there's any prohibition statewide. I think it's a community decision. And I think the reasons for the speed comforts, is that what? Speed comforts and speed tables is to make sure that any emergency vehicles can pass on them. I do agree also with Joe that enforcement is really vital, and if you did have some on that road, that would be good. And I'm glad to hear that there's a possibility that the parts that are not necessary to change won't be changed. So I want to thank you again. I want to thank you also for your willingness to chat with me.
Yeah, not at all.
Thank you.
Just a question though, Joe.
Yep.
That the speed
Oh,
bumps,
excuse me, one other thing. if the speed bumps, as to the concern that the speed bumps would invite litigation, if there's signage saying there's a speed bump and somebody ignores the signage, you don't have much of a chance in that kind of a case.
Wouldn't that interfere with your snow plowing?
Of course,
Yeah.
you'd have to take them up.
So,
And they're spiked,
They're spiked in. Right.
Most of the ones that you see are spiked in.
Even the speed tables?
I'm not sure what a speed table is.
It's a big expanse that's maybe a little bit of a bump.
Anything that would be a bump would cause serious damage, or we could cause serious damage to it with a bump, with a plow. Anything with an edge, even if it's beveled.
Okay.
so I did reach out to a couple other highway supers.
Yeah.
Speed bumps are illegal in New York State. We cannot put any of them on any road.
That's what I was told.
Yep. 100%. I had one of them that looked into it extensively for an issue similar to this, and he said, without a doubt, can't do it and wouldn't do it. Same reason.
No, I asked the Association of Towns
Yep.
2 years ago.
So I'm curious, is there a speed limit posted on that?
Yes, of course.
What is it?
30 miles an hour.
30 miles per hour, okay, so, okay.
Did you also inquire about these variations on the bumps, you know, the comforts where you have a little bump on one side but you can pass on the other, and the speed, so-called speed tables?
I don't know what a speed table is as well, but I was told anything that is added to the road that is an elevation difference
Yep.
was illegal.
Interesting.
And I've driven Cullen Road probably more than anybody on the board. I don't think that the road is in that bad shape at your end, and I don't think that the project that we're gonna do is gonna change the condition of the road or the speed that much. As Colliers stated in their response, that due to the way the road is, the geography of the road, right there with the elevation differences and the
The
curves,
curves.
that I don't think that, and I agree with that I don't think that there's gonna be, doing this project isn't going to change it enough to increase the speed.
Any other comments?
Well, I'll just give a quick comment just about generally speeds and speed limits. The village just changed the village speed limit to 25 miles an hour. I walk my dog every morning around the village streets, and at morning rush hour, if you walk Maple Avenue, Elm Drive, Safari Drive, Upper Maple, Lower Maple, people are going to work. If I had a radar gun, I bet you none of them are under 40 miles an hour. And, you know, the signs are posted, new speed limit, 25 miles an hour. I even tell my wife 25, 30 times, she's zipping down the street at, you know, at 35 miles an hour.
To about 8:30, from a quarter to 7
Well-
to about 7:30.
Yeah,
Get out of the way.
yeah. I mean,
They're not even coming to know it. They're
Yeah.
going through.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, you know, the teachers at Elm Drive, and I hope there's no teachers that don't want to throw any rocks at
No, no,
anybody,
I know
but
exactly what
they're all
you're
late for work.
I know.
They go around the corner
I know.
at where the tennis courts are
Yep.
on two wheels.
Yep.
With Tahoes, you know, doing 50 miles an hour, you know.
Come on, Bob.
So-
All right.
You ought to be on
Right.
a little less than 343 in the morning.
He's allowed.
With all the teachers and parents dropping
I'll
off
be
at
walking
Dutchess
no
Day
cows across the road.
on the morning.
But, you know,
Is anything ever said about the big trucks going through the main street?
yeah, they're working on that
We're
again.
There is a petition between the village and we support the village petition to the state to have the authority to
Weight
take those
limit.
trucks coming
Put a
through.
weight
A
limit.
weight limit on
It's
the road too.
been, it's already been approved. We're just waiting to permission to put
So can it be
signage up.
shoved
Yeah.
over to 44?
Yeah,
Yeah,
But you
That's-
still
that'd be great.
Yeah.
have to enforce it because they're still gonna go through.
well,
Just
local
like
truck,
they do-
the
just
local
like they
delivery
do-
trucks can
Just
come,
like
but,
they do over every bridge
yeah.
right.
that has a 4-ton weight limit.
Yeah, they're
sign.
30 tons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
In support of the enforcement of this, we had a similar issue on South Road. And we worked with the sheriff's department and the state police, and over a number of months by them being present and issuing citations.
Oh, that's great.
The speed did drop considerably,
That's terrific.
particularly when it was used as a detour for another state project that was going on. But and they're very cooperative. They'll back us up on that.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Okay. Thanks, Roger. Do you have any other questions or comments?
May I be excused?
Appreciate
Just
you
go
coming
slow
down.
on the way home, will you, please?
Thank you.
Yeah, take care.
Thank you again, John.
Yeah.
So, the budget, the public hearing on the budget is still open. Is there any comment from anybody on the budget? Anybody have any comments?
Is it online?
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
been up for quite a while.
Yes, yep. And there's a copy of it over on the table.
I have a copy, I just wondered if it was online.
Yep, yes it is, it's posted.
Okay, so if there's no other comment, I'd look to entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
A motion to adopt the budget as presented?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Joe, you want to give us your report?
Sure.
Lois, thank you for all your hard work
Yes.
on the budget
Yeah.
and keeping us,
New gas tank is in, 500 gallon tank. New pump for the tank. Sourcewell contract, well, less than 15,000. It's got gas in it, and we can't use it until the DEC signs off. They didn't tell me that.
When did they?
Now I know.
They
You
didn't-
think they're coming?
Probably whenever they feel like it. We've asked, we just got it done, so, I've waited a long time, but, it's probably anywhere from now till 3 months, I was told. Yeah,
That's great.
that's our region response.
Excellent.
Anyway,
Wow.
Amazing, isn't it?
school road is shimmed, not completely paved or anything like that, just a 1-inch shim. We asked for reimbursement, request was submitted on time for our CHIPS money, and we expect payment on the 16th of December, around the 16th of December is when we usually get it, 84,000 was the amount. Your insurance claim was completely paid, I suspect by sicking my deputy on them.
good.
$60,157.20. The insurance company waived cash value loss and the deductible.
Wow, good, great,
So we got everything.
good.
Is it done? Done?
Yeah.
Salt's gone up.
Wow,
Yes,
big,
Wow.
yes, and I budgeted for it.
$24 a ton or something, right?
Yeah, enough. So hope for a nice snow day. And that's all we got.
Good, Joe.
I sent a man today with a truck and his pension and everything else to the village. Their truck broke down, leaf truck, so we helped out.
Are they gonna put the unit on the back of our truck?
No, just they picked it up with the backhoe.
Are they still dumping leaves at the landfill?
I suspect.
No,
They're not? Where are they putting it?
Oh, no.
used to at a
They found a
Hitchcock.
place, I can't remember where they found. I think it's a farm. Could be a farm, but I don't remember where. I don't remember where.
If anybody wants any leaves, we'll
We'll be glad to,
Yeah.
well, the village will be glad to give it to
Yeah.
them. One day a year is enough for me,
Yeah.
but that's all I got, unless you got any questions.
No, but I think we should thank Matt for helping get that job done down at
Yeah,
your
that
shop.
was a great job
We
for us.
appreciate that,
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
Yeah,
absolutely.
we're gonna thank him by putting a sander on his truck, we're gonna work harder. I do not, but I will let you know. I gotta get some D-rings welded in there or something to hold it in there, because you got nothing. So.
Danielle?
But I'll let you know that. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thanks,
Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Last night was my Recreation Commission meeting, and 6 out of 7 of our commissioners did show up to that. We discussed that last Saturday was the last day of soccer. We presented the Warren McMillan Award. The criteria for this award was a 6th grader that eludes high-level sportsmanship and enthusiasm as a player, and this year's award goes to Gabriella Dinda. We'd also like to thank Chevy for our sponsorship. We received a generous check from them of $1,000. We had our Veterans Day pancake breakfast on Veterans Day, November 11th, from 8 to 10. Those that were in attendance were pleased with the offerings, and a special thanks to Walbridge Farms for sponsoring this event.
It
Thanks,
was
Doug.
good, it was delicious, too. Thanks, Doug. My pleasure.
The town of Washington and the village of Millbrook are collecting non-perishable foods. Natalie and I are collecting them from the village, from the town, from the preschool. We've collected over 350 pounds of food so far, not including paper towels and toilet paper and shampoo and conditioner and all kinds of stuff. So this has been the biggest food drive
Yeah.
that I've had. I've always done it with the preschool, but now including the town and the village, it's really been a lot more successful. That will go until November 17th. We're collecting so that they can get the food ready for Thanksgiving. We have a paint and sip on November 21st. That is closed for registration right now because we are filled up to 24. Lisa Agnelli is our teacher for that, and she brings all the supplies, paint, and everything. Chrissy is one of our registrants for that. You are required to bring your own sips. We are only supplying the paint and stuff.
My wife's gonna go.
This is up at the town park? Yeah.
The center in Rhinebeck is having a Christmas story. It was Rhinebeck Performing Arts Center, now it's called the Center. They have given us the opportunity to sell discounted tickets for that. Our seniors will be available to have $10 tickets for that. Our non-resident seniors will get them for $22. Our residents of any age can get them at $22, and non-residents can get them at $24. They sell at the center for $25.
It's a good deal.
We have an adult 60-plus holiday luncheon on Thursday, December 10th at noon. The menu is chicken marsala, sweet potato, mashed potatoes, and Brussels sprouts with a dessert. Matt's wife is the chef for that, so thank you for
You're welcome.
introducing her fine culinary skills.
She is,
Oh,
she
yeah.
is a wonderful cook.
Our gingerbread house event is December 12th. People can pick up their gingerbread houses at 3:30 on. The event starts at 6 p.m. At that time, that's also located at the cheerleaders building at the town park. So far, we only have 23, but every time I advertise, we get a whole bunch more on social media or putting out email blasts. At that night, they can also vote for Festival of Trees. Festival of Trees is the next day. We're gonna have the trees all lit. They'll probably be lit that whole week prior to it, that seniors can vote on it. People can stop by and look as long as Abby's there with the senior program. We still need 3 more trees, just saying. Chevy, Walbridge, anybody, that wants to.
What do you
a tree.
need?
Oh, you need,
So somebody has to
People to
decorate it,
decorate.
get
Yeah,
free
yeah.
advertising to decorate.
yeah.
You have the trees, you just need them decorated.
Right,
Yeah.
there's 10 trees total. You have extension
Okay.
cords for it, and they just have to decorate it.
Okay.
Most people do by some theme or something.
Okay.
The Alden Place Elementary Choir and Band will be there performing. Santa will be there. There'll be crafts for the kiddos, hot chocolate, some cookies, and an award will be presented to the one voted best trade. Basketball registration has been extended. We have 75 people that are signed up for that now. That will be at Dutchess Day. Last year's was 90, so I'm trying to get that up to about the same amount. The MIG renovations will be starting in February of 2026.
Great.
Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
That building
Thank
is a
you.
wonderful addition. You've done a wonderful job up there. Thank you. Yeah. Kyle, I meant to ask before Joe left, any word on the Millbrook School situation?
Yes, sir, we're gonna get back to me about that one person as to whether or not we had the consent.
Okay.
So as soon as we
That's
hear
the
back-
only holdup, really.
I believe so. We're gonna go through a sort of an unusual route to accomplish what we're looking to do, but assuming we get everybody on, all the adjoinings on board, we'll go to.
Should be a go.
Yeah, we'll pull the trigger.
Wonderful. That's good news.
Good news.
Yep. Good, thanks for
Of course.
getting me that. Matt?
For October. I shut the water off at the park, 10/26/25. I took out the chlorinator pump and the water meter and put them in a heated space for the winter. I winterized all the lines and all the sinks because of antifreeze in them. The water filter system for the senior center. We had to install a water meter, and I've been taking readings daily to see how much water's going through there. I got water samples and tested it at Environmental Lab Works over in Marlboro. The samples came back negative for E. coli and coliforms. We pulled the well pump. It's 50 feet deep. And I have pictures of the well pump and the make and model. I'll send those over to you, Chrissy, for the records. So now what they need is a UV filter test. So Monday I have to drive back to Marlboro and get 2 more sample models and then drop them back off.
No kidding.
And then hopefully then we can get the UV filter designed and installed.
Matt, does it have to be their sample bottles?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have to be sealed and you have to open them and you have to put the samples in a cooler with the ice pack and be a certain temperature the whole ride over there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we had to do that.
I actually had to do
years
that
ago.
myself.
We had to do it.
Bear
We did
Mountain
too, but we
Bridge.
didn't.
Bear Mountain, their water, I had to do that myself.
We could use sample bottles from Soil and Water when we were doing them.
Yeah.
They had,
Like Farm and Home Center, but,
yeah.
yeah,
I emailed them and talked to them today. I have to go over there and get
Yeah.
their kit.
yeah.
The sand filter fence was extended. It now runs 4 feet into the water on either side, so no one can get around it, animals or people. I serviced all the vehicles at the park. I took the F-250 to Rugi's last week, brakes, service, inspection. I serviced the Kubota, the John Deere. All of the power equipment has been winterized.
Wonderful.
Saves us a lot of time and money.
And my current project is the ramp and deck at the composting toilet. So I put sonotubes in, I excavated the site, I got all the framing. I just have to start putting the decking down next week, so hopefully by the end of it. I've been taking care of the leaves the last week here.
Yeah. Yep.
That's it.
Good.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah,
Well,
thank you.
thank you.
Good report. Jonathan is not coming. Lois?
The budget obviously is now completed. Worked on that obviously through the last few weeks and last month. The bank reconciliations for the checking and savings accounts have all been reconciled through September, starting on October. I've provided you, as I do every month, the New York class balance
Mm-hmm.
and my Bank of Millbrook balances. We did make some transfers, small transfers from New York class to fund the Bank of Millbrook bank accounts. So they were getting a little low, so we did some transferring. Transfer station invoicing receipts are posted. The monthly revenue from the Justice Court has been received through October 2025. I received the building departments. And also, Chrissy did hand in the town clerk's audit, so when I printed this, I didn't have it yet, so I apologize for that, Chrissy. I provided the The October supervisors report, I did not have time to complete. I will get that to you all via email, probably in the next few days. And then I have budget amendments, again, moving monies around for unexpected expenses. Do you want to go over them line by line? Please read them. The last one is to recognize the CHIPS money we're going to be receiving, as Joe said, for the Millbrook School Road, and also I think part of that was, what I have here is for those guardrails.
Yeah.
But just to, and then the garage insurance, to recognize that expenditure and revenue, to make that line whole again, so.
Good.
We need to vote on
So
that?
you need a motion to move
Yeah.
money.
Yes.
I'll make that
Well,
motion.
Be a second
the
to that?
budget amendments, and I'm
Yep.
sure I'll have
Second.
more next month. as
Doug,
we
you
go to the
second?
end of the year.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that's it.
Thank you, Lois.
Thank you.
As always, it's a good report. Tony, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. What do you got for us?
Nothing real pressing. The only thing I would note on is that it's that time of year that the Millbrook Hunt is very active. Their last outing, which was, I believe, about 10 days ago, they left 8 dogs running at large that they were unable to contain. As of a couple of days ago, there were still 4 missing. So I've had some complaints about that from the community. I believe, I did speak with Betsy Parks, who's in charge of the hunt and the hounds. And she did tell me that all of them had collars and were ID'd. So I don't know really at this point what to do with this situation. It's an ongoing thing every year. So if any of you hear anything from the community, I encourage you to.
Whereabouts are they missing?
Sorry?
Where are they missing? What
So-
neighborhood?
Hunt Trail.
One of them was at our place 2 days ago,
Yeah,
yesterday.
2-3 days ago.
But I don't think it's the hunt, it's the hounds, right? It's Betsy's dogs.
Yeah.
So-
It's both.
Okay,
It's been both.
okay. I think the hunt has radio collars on most of their dogs. I don't think that Betsy does with the,
Like the beagle hounds
With the
that she
beagle.
used for beagling.
Yep.
She does put some radio collars on loner dogs that come from other kennels,
yep.
but not all of them. So if this continues, we'll have to figure out some way to contain them better. Unfortunately, it is kind of a safety issue with that many running at large in the roads for people driving. Unfortunately, you know, I had hounds, coon hounds, and I stopped coon hunting because we don't have the tracts of land that you can run dogs on here anymore without them crossing major highways. And so that's something to think about. And like I said, if anybody hears anything from the community, please let me know, or encourage them to call the hunt directly if they do spot either a beagle or a larger hound running.
Good.
That's really all I
Good.
have.
Okay.
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
Is it, do you think it's proper that we or you send a letter to the head of the hunt? I don't know who it is anymore now. And say that, you know, these dogs, if they're gonna be, you know, loose on the hunt, then they need to have radio collars, so if they don't come back with you, then we can locate them and have them, Or they can locate them and go get them.
Uh,
Should we do that? Have they caused,
I've addressed the situation before, not formally within a letter. Maybe that is a good idea.
Yeah.
However, a lot of times, hounds people do not like putting collars onto dogs because it can cause the dogs to get caught up in bushes or streams. It's kind of a safety issue. So they may address that at, a lot of like tearaway collars some people have, usually just typically with an ID on them, which I've been assured that when they're out now, they all do have an identification. I'm not sure if radio collars are, if you're able to get them like that, but I will look into that.
tearaway collars like a Velcro type thing? Yeah.
And with the amount of hounds, it's difficult to, I would imagine. I mean, I haven't experienced it personally, so I don't know, but like I said, I mean, 8 running at large
That's a lot.
after one hunt or one morning hunting is a little excessive if you ask me.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that.
Yep. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chrissy?
Okay, so the clerk's office for the month of October brought in $4,312 in revenue. Natalie is in the process of updating our employee handbook. It's a bit out of date. We've updated some of our policies over the last year or so. Kristen is working on cleaning out old files, and we're working on implementing a more organized filing system. And also updating all our committee members on the various boards, their actual members and their term dates, because a lot of that wasn't updated or accurate.
Right.
So we're doing that. It's a bit time consuming, but, and also for the incoming year of 2026, Natalie and Erin have posted all the town board meetings and all the committee meetings on the
Okay.
calendar for the 2026. Oh, and all the holiday clerk hours and building hours have been posted on the website and social medias.
Good.
So
Perfect.
that's all we have
Good.
going on.
Thank you. Thanks, Chrissy. Mike?
Court report, the deposits for the month of October have been made, $4,879 from the court. We don't have the breakdown from the state on that deposit. The previous month's was $4,179, of which $1,594 went to the state, and the town received $2,585. The report from the court activity was given to me dated 11/05. This reflects the October court sessions. There were 38 defendants at court that evening for a total number of charges of 43. And just to revert back to the conversation on speeding, there were 7 that were speeding violations. So that was the October report. An addendum to the court report. In April of 2025, the State of New York Unified Court System sent 2 officers down to do a risk assessment of this court. And they submitted to Judge Poles a 32-page document that was not only the questions that they were reviewing, but also recommendations. So rather than give you a 30-page document, I printed out just the summary recommendations from each section. And I can quickly go through a few. I reviewed these with Judge Poles the other evening. There were 2 that she was most concerned with, but this is a pretty comprehensive report. Gary, I'll give you the full report. And after you've gotten with it, or you've read through it, if you would give it to McKenna when you're done so she can file it.
Yeah.
They are pretty extensive. They actually looked at the age of the building, built in 1918. They went through how the building is open and so on. The areas that they looked at were exterior parking, courthouse entrances and exits, building in general, the whole list of things they looked at there. Prisoner delivery, detention and movement, courtrooms and ancillary spaces, and additional comments. If you look at the exterior, their biggest concern was the perimeter area of the building with all the vegetation around the fencing and so on. Again, these are recommendations, so they're saying conduct a routine perimeter search for contraband, ensure all exterior lighting is operational during court hours, and trim or remove any excess vegetation around the perimeter of the building. Remember, this is an assessment of the court and the safety of the clerk and the judge, and that's what they're basically, the questions are looking at. For parking, they're recommending a reserved parking spot for the judicial and non-judicial court staff as near as possible to the entrance they use, which they recommended right here by the fire escape. So that would require just marking and a sign. Install signs for reserved parking, authorized parking only. If funding permits, install additional lighting around the parking area. Ensure the parking area lighting is operational during court hours. Even though we have lighting on the building, they felt that it was a little too dark out there. Courtroom entrances and exits, as funding allows, employ additional law enforcement personnel for court security and screening. The judge looked at that recommendation but said that we have a coverage by the sheriff's department, we have our own constable, it's a small room, small court, so she didn't feel that's something that we would have to enact, but it was a recommendation from them. Ensure law enforcement personnel are present during all court sessions, which I believe we are. If funding permits, procure a magnetometer and a hand scanner. We had been offered the magnetometer from the village court, but if it was installed in the hallway, it would take up so much space that it would almost push over to the stairwell when the public come in. So we do have a hand scanner now that Jimmy does use, and so I think that recommendation, we're adhering to that. Develop security screening procedures that include the use of screening equipment. The building recommendations are quite extensive. I won't go through all of them, but they're talking about procedures for if there was a fire, how to evacuate, where to go. Is there an employee that's designated as the fire coordinator meeting place? We talked about this a number of years ago when we had the state police come in here and do an assessment on the procedures in this building. A simple recommendation was all the phones on this first level should have speed dial for the police departments, so that if something was to happen, they don't have to pick up the phone and dial, they just hit a button on the phone system, which is a programming issue. They also talked about perhaps looking at camera, looking at the entranceway to the court, particularly when the doors now have to be closed when McKenna isn't here, where the public goes to the half door, having a camera out there and her ability to read it on the desk. These are all safety regulations. Another thing they talked about.
Matt installed a deadbolt
Yes.
to the bottom of the door.
Right.
So that during the day, when she's in here by herself, they have to come to
The two biggest concern that the judge still has, and Matt is working on it with McKenna, is a door on that filing room right there that probably will need to be customized because of the printer. You can't swing in, it can't swing out. McKenna's working on securing the cabinet system with those baby lock systems that allow for it. And then another lock system on the judge's door to her chambers that needs to be replaced with a better locking system. Because they're concerned, these inspectors were concerned about someone stalking a judge or a staff member and perhaps causing a disruption within the court from the outside. They're recommending a fencing system around the propane tanks and the generator system that has a lock on the gate so that only certain people can get in there to that. Again, recommendation. The board will have to assess the cost of something like that. On prisoner exchange, because it's a small court, depending on the time of day, the state police, if it's after hours, will bring a prisoner through the back door or the front door. But there is prisoner exchange sometimes with public out in the hallway, so they were a little concerned about that and working on trying to remedy that. Other recommendations, replace the courtroom chairs with benches, alternatively secure the chairs to the floor. That is a result of some activities that have occurred in other courts where someone being brought before the judge has picked up chairs, thrown them at the judges. They talked about a rail system here, but the judge indicated these tables act as her rail, which means it pushes the public and anyone coming before her further back. She was okay with that. But
Well, the chairs, I mean,
you can't,
really
and
do anything about
Right,
that at this
and-
point in time.
again, it was a recommendation.
Right.
They didn't get any feedback on these recommendations from us, but you could probably link a few of the chairs together and make them threes, more difficult to pick up, but both the constable and I know the sheriff has indicated they're pretty well controlled in here.
These chairs originally linked when
Yes.
we had them. For some reason, the linking no longer works. It
Right.
wasn't too stable, but they did link.
But if you've seen some of the incidents that appear on the news, particularly one down in South Carolina, North Carolina, where the defendant literally went over the rail, through that, and got to the judge before the constables could even get to the judge to protect her. That's why they're doing these of all the courts. Our court is tiny, the bigger courts, that becomes an issue. And then there were no additional comments. Our former clerk, Heather, was present, and then there were two sergeants that did the assessment. So those are the recommendations. It's part of the big document. The document does contain all the questions that were asked and the questions that they had to review.
It's similar to when the county comes in and does a building
Correct.
assessment here.
The Ethics Committee, I hadn't heard back from the chairman, so I'm assuming there was no issues.
Chris.
Update from the Strategic Planning Committee, the community survey. The community survey was posted about 4.5 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago. Immediately, the night that Danielle posted it, we got like 26 responses. As of last Wednesday, I think there were 109.
110 today.
110. We sent a follow-up out to the public indicating and thanking people for the responses, but encouraging people who have not responded to please respond by December 1st. Coincidentally, with the survey they're doing, if we could get our survey up to about 150, that would be great. The analysis that comes with the software package that's administering this survey is quite extensive. So when the survey is completed, members of the committee will assess the results, but it's done in bar graph and pie coloration, and it's very easy to read. It shows which is the most important to people down to the least and what they don't, what they don't want. And that will be part of the final report that Bobby and I, as co-chairs, will submit to this board probably January or February. The park exit. That's one of the first priorities that even the board wanted for safety reasons out on 44, particularly in July when we have camp. We ran into a little bit of a difficulty pursuing a solution to get out onto Little Rest Road. We now have kind of a invisible fence underneath the ground that goes from the concession building all the way up to the leach fields. All the piping that's under the sewer piping and all of that is kind of an underground fence. You can't drive over that. So that whole area now prevents us from getting over to Little Rest Road. So Bobby reached out to a local business that deals with those kinds of problems. We think we have a solution. It would require us to redig the existing sewer line that goes from the building up to the holding tank.
Only the width of the road.
Only the width of the road and maybe 3 feet on either side.
Yeah.
Dig it up, splice in a more structured pipe rather than the piping that's there now, and put an arch pipe over it, almost like a
A half-
archway,
half
a half
pipe.
pipe. Re-bury it and then that should suffice for people driving over that.
Yeah, they were very confident that that would work
Right.
fine.
But as far as the rest of the extension of all of that
We'll have to mark it,
infrastructure,
yeah.
it's going to have to be marked out. People cannot park on it, nor can people drive over it. That would become a major issue with the state.
Very good.
So we're going to pursue that. We're also using the company to take a look in those woods and overgrowth between the trimmed area of the park to the southwest and out to Little Rest, bordering between the horse farm and the property that's on Little Rest, to see the undulation in there, to see what the quality of the soil is, what it would take to clear all the trees, and then to level it all, and then to be able to get a road out onto Little Rest, which
Yeah,
will
well, that'd be a big help.
dramatically
Yeah.
improve
Yeah.
flow for that park.
Boy,
One contractor called me yesterday, wanted to know if I could meet him up there, and I had a meeting, I couldn't make it, so he's gonna call me tomorrow, and we'll go up together and take a look, so he can give us a rough idea. Also, Brian Houston
Yep.
is working on, Harry Bly had done some work and had a file on that, and Brian has not had time to dissect it, but he's doing it now, and he'll report back to us on that,
good.
on that.
One thing that wasn't on my agenda, but it got done today, so I'll present it now. As a result of the board being passed and the discussion we had all during the budget process on certain areas of the budget that involved the evaluation of employees annually and the relationship of evaluating and percentage increases and so on. After talking to many of you informally, we went back and looked at the document that some of the supervisors here have been using to evaluate their employees. And we did a little bit of a tweaking to it that I think will give a better way of evaluating employees. And we redid the document. I'll give a copy to everybody so that you can see it. And we actually split it into two. It is a document to be used by the reviewer, who would be the manager, and a parallel document that would be used by the employee to do a self-evaluation at the time of the reviews. And if you look at the back of the reviewer copy, there is a section that now tabulates the score, and then the score has a paralleling percentage increase. That would be, and I spoke to Lois about that, this would be an annual revision of those percentages based on the dollars that would be set aside within the budget that would be the corpus from which the raises would take place. But this also, because it's now also an employee performance review, their own copy for self-evaluation, it also gives the manager an opportunity to sit with the employee and compare answers and come to resolutions on certain levels of why did you get scored this way or that way. This is just a recommendation. I think it's a simpler way of doing it. The previous document had a lot of, I would call them emotional categories, whereas this becomes more quantitative and able to be measured. And also, I think, gives the opportunity for the employee to also learn on opportunities for advancement based on the evaluation numbers. So all those copies are for you, and I have extra copies. And there is a template that Chrissy has that each year, that one section can be revised.
Okay, good.
That's
Yeah,
all I
like
got.
it. I like it.
Good. All right. Doug?
Planning board. Planning board, 3 items on the agenda. The first was Dick Whalen's 561 Verbank Road, represented by Brian Houston, for a lot line adjustment. Brian had asked for a public hearing, to waive the public hearing. There was a motion and second to do that. The motion and second, and approval to adopt the resolution in favor of the lot line adjustment. The second item was also represented by Brian, Andy Shore, at 82 and Clinton Corners Road for a lot line adjustment as well. The problem with this parcel was, according to the deed, half of the parcel is in the town of Clinton and half of it is in the town of Washington.
We've run into that before with Andy.
Yep.
Yep. So there was a lot of discussion amongst the planning board because Andy has an application in Clinton to build a 12-unit apartment building on the Clinton side of the same deeded piece of property. So there was a lot of discussion on whether or not this was segmentation by having one application versus two. After an hour's worth of discussion back and forth, they came to the conclusion that one does not impact the other. There was a motion that it was two separate actions. It was a 4-2 vote, classified as a type 2 under SECRA. 5-1 approved to waive the lot line public hearing, and then the motion to approve the resolution was a revised resolution that Hannah had not quite drafted yet, to include some language about their discussion of segmentation to eliminate all, hopefully eliminate all legal questions going forward. And the third item on the agenda was the town of Washington with a wetland permit for the culvert replacement at Oak Summit and Canby Road. They approved alternate counsel of Rebecca Vaught to start with. Colliers explained the project to the board. Aaron from AKRF informed the board that this was a replacement in kind and that it was qualified as a type 2 under SECRA. The board approved to move forward. Public hearing on that will be next month. It was referred to the CAC for comment, and the planning board will send an informal letter to Unionvale informing them of the project and the public hearing just as a courtesy because of the proximity to the town line. The only other thing that was discussed was a fee change and a revised application for the planning board, which I will have in print for this board next month to approve. That was it for the planning board. The other thing that I have on my agenda is the right to farm law, which I have introduced to all of you by email. I have done a little soul searching over the last, since the election, and whether or not I was going to be the one to ask to forward this draft forward, but it is too important not to, so I am gonna charge forward with this. Kyle and I have been over it 2 or 3 times. I think probably we have a pretty good, the amended version, I think, covers all the bases. If there's any questions, I would entertain the ability to answer them. Otherwise, I think we have to qualify it as type 2 under SECRA first, or?
The resolution has, I think the resolution I gave you has all that in there.
Oh, I sent that to every.
There's a resolution of introduction. So what you're gonna do is just,
Don't recall getting that, but
so.
did we get that? I don't recall getting
Yep.
that.
I sent,
I got the
yes.
tentative contract, but
No, same day I sent the right to farm law. I didn't know the resolution was in there as well, though, Kyle,
Let's see if we can, so what, do we have a way to print it if I shoot it as an email?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let me find it.
where is this now?
It was on October 24th, if that's, or 23rd, maybe, I emailed it out.
I have it.
Oh, I have it, November 6th.
I
Here it
did.
is.
I knew I sent it.
Yeah, okay. But that,
No, I think the one on November 6th was,
It's both.
it's both.
it's both?
I
Okay.
sent them one right after another. First is the amended law, second is the resolution introducing proposed local law.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
We also had I didn't bring it with me, but I think Kyle sent us something that I printed out, or you handed it out, about protections for surrounding people who live by the farms or something. Was it some protections for the farm?
I don't remember that one.
It may be, it's referenced in the law itself.
Right, okay, yep.
Or the local law itself. I just forwarded it to you. Christine.
Gotcha, okay. I'll print it out.
Yeah, it was pretty clear. I remember reading it.
Okay.
Actually, the town of Roxbury and just over the line into Connecticut is going through
So, I mean, I can read, she's printing it out, we can just read it. I mean, it's a type 2 action under secret. I mean, it's all in the resolution, we just need to adopt the resolution.
Right.
That's all.
Yep.
You know, it's simple as that.
And then set a public hearing, right? Or just adopt the resolution.
Public hearing on the proposed local law shall be held by the town on,
Right.
so we need to schedule
That for next month.
For next month.
Right.
And then, okay, so, what's that?
All right.
So,
I think the resolution gets signed,
yeah,
so she needs to print it.
well,
Yeah, I mean, it's not very long, the resolution.
No,
Want me
it's
to
just
read it now?
one
I guess
page.
read it off the phone, or Doug could read it.
Whereas the town board of the town of Washington recognizes the communal importance of the town's agricultural heritage and the need to maintain and preserve the agricultural character of the town, protect the existence and operation of farms, and promote practical mechanisms to resolve disputes concerning agricultural practices. Whereas the town board has before it a proposed local law entitled Right to Farm Law, amended and restated, which among other things affirm the town's right to farm policy, defines key terms, declares certain agricultural practices to be reasonable and not a nuisance, provides notice to real property purchasers and occupants, establishes an ag advisory committee and a dispute resolution process, and states that the adoption is a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act. Whereas the proposed local law is intended to be consistent with the New York State Ag and Markets Law, including but not limited to 283A, 305B, 308, and 310. And whereas the town board desires to introduce said local law for consideration and to schedule a public hearing thereon, now therefore be it resolved by the town board of the town of Washington, Dutchess County, New York, as follows. Introduction of local law, proposed local law of 2025, entitled Right to Farm, in the form attached hereto as Exhibit A, is hereby introduced for consideration. SECRA, the town board hereby preliminary determines the adoption of the proposed local law constitutes a type 2 action, and therefore no further SECRA review is required. A public hearing on the proposed local law shall be held by the town board on,
so it would be at our December meeting.
yeah, I don't
Right?
have the
Okay.
next, the date of that.
That's all
So
right.
we can, that's fine.
At the next town board meeting in December
Mhm.
at 10 Reservoir Drive, Millbrook, New York. The town clerk is hereby directed to publish and post a notice of public hearing in the town's official newspaper and on the town's website, and to post the notice on the town clerk's bulletin board not less than 5 days prior to said hearing, all in accordance with municipal home rule law 20 and other applicable law. The town clerk shall also make the proposed local law available to the public and to any interested agency. Referrals. To the extent applicable, the town clerk are authorized and directed to make any referrals required by law, including referral to the Town of Washington Planning Board, Department of Planning and Development pursuant to General Municipal Law 239M. The town supervisor, attorney, and town clerk are authorized to take such further actions as may be necessary. The proposed local law provides that if adopted by the town board, it shall take effect upon filing with the New York Secretary of State.
I don't know what that big word is either.
The second Thursday of December is
Effectuate.
December 11th.
Effectuate.
Okay.
That would be the board meeting.
Yeah.
Public hearing would be on December 11th.
December 11th.
December
Yeah.
11th, 2025.
Right. Okay.
I'll
Okay.
make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Want me to tell them? And
Yep. So,
Thank you all.
Thank you for the work.
The town of Roxbury in Connecticut right now, they have a resident who moved to town and has called about 15 state agencies to complain about a farm. All have found no issues, so now they have taken it to the zoning board and filed a lawsuit against the town and the farm.
Wow.
So hopefully this will,
Get rid of that guy now.
well,
At least an avenue.
put out campfires before they're forest fires.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's good
I
law.
was talking to Harry
Baldwin?
Terry
Baldwin
Baldwin?
today about this, and I told him I'd get him a copy of that. He's very interested in it.
Yep.
How old is Harry?
Oh, my God.
He's still
He-
transporting cows, isn't he?
Yeah,
He
not
rides.
much.
Oh, he rides.
He rides.
Yeah.
He doesn't drive so
He's
much.
gotta be mid-90s, don't you think?
90 anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Good man, though.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
moving right along.
Right? Sorry, my brain is three different
No
places.
problem. Yeah, no problem.
The assessor's office update, which Lisa can talk about more
We had to wait for the temperature to warm
if
up.
she wants to, but I did send everybody the tentative contract, and we're gonna discuss that later in executive
Yeah,
session.
yes.
Okay, so you voted on it?
Yes,
Who made the,
I made the motion. I forgot who seconded it.
Well, no, I seconded it.
Joe.
Yeah.
seconded.
The public hearing will be the next board meeting, Chrissy, December 11th.
gotcha, thank you. And you seconded it?
Yes.
Okay.
For the contract, Doug, for the
Thank you.
reval, we're gonna discuss it, we're not gonna approve it.
Right.
Because I'd like to have Kyle. look
Yeah,
at
I
all
just
this.
gave him a copy.
Okay.
And
And
he
here's a copy.
glanced at it.
Of what?
The
We're
contract.
just asking.
I have it.
Yep.
I have a copy. I made a copy myself.
Perfect.
Oh, I have a bunch of copies too, that I made of the tentative contract too.
I emailed
We
to
have it on
everyone.
our, it was sent
got
to
it.
us,
Yeah.
so we
I
have it.
can
yeah.
make hard copies if you want, if anybody wants it.
Thanks, Doug, for the report.
No problem.
Well, I think we should give one to Kyle.
I did already.
Got it.
Just
Yeah.
got it, yep, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, Joe?
So my report, basically, Doug gave it. So- And my zoning board of appeals report, I apologize of the length of it. There was no meeting, so
Love
that's
it.
my report.
That's a good one. Okay. Works for me.
I'm sorry to interrupt, did you pass the right to farm law?
Yes.
Okay, who
We
voted?
Pass the resolution.
Pass the resolution.
Pass the
Yeah.
Public
resolution?
hearing.
And now we
Oh,
have the
that's
public
this,
hearing.
oh, I'm sorry,
Then we have the public hearing.
just, don't mind me,
We passed- yeah.
sorry about that. Just asked that.
Bob, you have,
Yeah, I got just a couple of things.
yeah,
The compactor for the transfer station is ordered. Everybody has a copy of the contract, Lois does, and we're starting to file on it in the office. They need a new shed, the shed that they don't freeze to death in the
Oh, yeah.
winter and
yeah.
don't sweat to death in the summer, with a little teeny shed. So Jimmy's been looking around at them and talking to different shed companies. I gave him the website for Tough Shed, who they make it on site if you want, customize it. We have the money put aside for the shed. Jimmy recommends they want to change the location instead of it being right between the two compactors to be over to the side. It'll give them a better view of everything. They can see people coming up the road, and it'll have windows around it. So, and it's just going to be, I'm thinking it's 12 by 12. It's very small. It's like a little lawnmower shed, but with a front door and maybe a little overhang in the front so they can stand outside if it's raining and not get soaking wet. So they're working on that. The fire department has torn down the old Tedesco house. They did it themselves with some of their members and equipment. I think the last dumpsters are loaded and they'll be taken away, and there was no remediation needed to be done. They had a remediator come in. The only thing we haven't got, I gave her the contract that was signed by you and Dominic Boscardine. We don't have their insurance certificate. They have it, but we haven't gotten it yet, naming us as additional insured. So I emailed the chief, the president, and the secretary on Monday. I haven't heard back, but it takes them a while before they look at their email, I guess. But I'll
Any
make sure
chance you
that we
can,
have, I'll make
have
sure.
a conversation with the president?
Yeah, there's a chance. Yeah.
I mentioned before, Brian Houston and Willie Murphy were going to be taking a look at that new entrance to the park, hopefully very soon. And you already know that I was invited to go to the luncheon at the Grace Church to listen to what we already listened to tonight, so I don't know if I'm going to go or not, but I'll probably go to see what other people say at that.
What are they having for lunch?
Nope. Well, I have no idea. Probably a sandwich. I don't know.
I could go.
You're welcome to go, Joe. And that's really all I have at this point.
Okay. Lisa?
Oh, yes. Okay, so, SCAR and, CERT Article 7 hearings are postponed to January and December. We were preparing for the annual mailings for exemptions. They are actually all done and ready to go out whenever, the timing of that makes sense. Some of them are sending out early so they can order soil and water reports, but they're ready to go out. Activity for September, we had 33 reviews that I did for a reappraisal, sales are always light at this time, for my review. Data collection, Michael was away for a good part of last month, so it was 7 and 7.
That means
parcels.
town and village. What's 7 and 7 mean?
Oh, sorry, I missed the sales too. 7 parcels, 7 sites, yeah. So
I
there were no
gotcha.
extra sites on this month, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Sorry, I missed the sales too. Sales, we had 6 out of the village, and then there weren't any in the village. And interesting enough, they were all very low, which was unusual for this area, but they were all I think 600,000 and less. So it's very unusual. So a lot of the lower
Wow.
end.
So we have 7 hearings coming up?
No,
No. The SCARs and.
that's Article 7s. That's the name of the proceeding.
Article 7, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
So do we have a lot?
I think there's, for SCARs, there's 6, for Article 7, it's just the one.
I think there's only
that we
one.
have. Yeah, yep. And the hearing was postponed once already, it's the beginning of December.
Yeah, it's postponed for us to get information back from the petitioner. So it's just so that's going to be a process.
What usually happens on those? I mean,
The Article 7s? It's, so, the way it works in Dutchess County is, typically what ends up happening is it gets calendared the first time, It's fairly informal in Dutchess. The judge who handles them all is the same, it's Judge Brands, and he's actually a JHO now because he's retired. He holds a calendar twice a week. And then you're one of maybe 5 to 20 different certs that could be on that particular morning. And then what happens is typically the petitioning attorney advises the judge, look, we're going to need some time to get some information over to the town's attorney for them to review. We get that information. We'll take a look at it. We'll have some conversations. If we can, if it's something that requires some expertise, we might come back to the board and say, hey, listen, we may need a consultant to actually take a look at this property and give us their opinion on it. If that's something that we can, work through based upon the information we have, then, make a determination as to whether or not there is a case. And then if there's a case, or close to a case, you really want to try to negotiate some type of a resolution or settlement. If we're confident, Lisa and I are confident that the assessment can be supported, then, we might come back and say, listen, you guys might want to hire an appraiser to take a look at this. If you contest these cases, then both sides, both the petitioner and the town, have to get their own appraisals, trial-ready appraisal reports. You want to avoid that if there's even a question, because that's expensive.
Is it commercial property or
Yeah,
In the
residential?
case of this one, it is in an LLC. It is just a farm, and this is not actually a appraisal contest. It is, or a value contest. It's an ag exemption
Yeah,
that we denied
Ah,
because they weren't actually doing.
So in this,
I say it was to be done.
so in this case, what I notified, that's correct. So in this case, what I did was I notified them and told them we're going to want to do an inspection, take a look at their property and see what's actually going on out there.
And we've done our own inspections, so.
We'll see what they come back with.
Yeah,
We'll see. Yep.
okay,
good for you.
good. Okay. Okay, so that is pretty much the extent of the regular meeting. Is there anything from the public? Yes, sir.
Yes, it's a question that several people, not a few people, not a lot, have asked me, and I think this is the place to get the answer to the question. If you're in the process of appearing before one of the boards or something, and the town changes the law, and you're not approved yet, does the new law apply, or do you, because you started the process, go in under the old law?
Is this a property question?
Yeah, basically you're before one of the boards, town boards. Only you can make a law, if I understand this correctly.
Mhm.
Correct.
So if the law gets changed by you, people have started the process under the old law before you made the change.
So you're
Are they
looking at-
grandfathered under the old law, or do they
I
have
would
to
think they
now-
would be, wouldn't they?
No, not necessarily.
No.
No, they're not necessarily grandfathered. It depends upon a number of things, and it depends upon whether they've acquired any type of invested right. So if the law changes while an application, I think what your question is
Yeah.
that a law changes while an application is pending before a planning board
Or not approved?
and not approved, are they bound by? And the answer is no, not necessarily grandfathered. No.
Okay. Pretty simple.
Yeah, for the most part, but you
But
can get
as
into,
always.
yeah, you can get into the weeds on it, and I've litigated those issues.
No, that was a question, and didn't know the answer. A couple of people I asked didn't know the answer either.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else, Howard?
No.
Jack, did you have any? You've been so patient. I'm glad, nice to see you here.
No, I just haven't been to a real one. I usually watch them from there.
Yeah,
But now that it's the second day and it's old news, I don't feel. It's like a rerun.
You're always welcome here.
Details to the live one. I'm sure they do at home.
They do, yeah. And then I can stop it and go to the bathroom. Or when Bobby starts talking, I just zip through it. Sorry, Bob.
That's okay.
Well, you're always welcome here, Jack.
I know that, and I kept saying, I'm gonna go, so.
Yep,
Today was a
yep,
good spot for me to go.
good.
Chrissy gave me the agenda ahead of time, so I kind of knew what was
And
going
Beth
on.
kicked him out.
You bet kicked them out.
So anyway, we have an executive session situation we have to do, so I have to excuse
That's
everybody.
okay, I've got a football game at home.
There you go.
Are you? Good.
Well, it's on TV.
What?
Aren't the Jets playing tonight?
We'll turn them.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
The who, the Jets?
Tonight's Thursday
I don't
night.
know.
Yeah, Thursday night football.
Thursday night football.
Oh, is that right?
I want them looking at Lowe's.
Maybe
And they-
3 in a
Yes.
row.
We do it, we do,
Rooms.
we do it before we leave.
Great,
You
Yep.
gotta have video prime though.
Yeah.
Well, if you go to the senior center, there's video.
I have video prime.
Just in case.
I
So,
wanna put speakers on your,
We have to call this person in?
well, we gotta get her on the phone.
Yeah.
Is it, what, is it a personnel group? Is there personnel?
Well,
Is it just that one on the agenda?
yeah.
silver speakers
So-
and actually
What would
you
you
go
call
on
it?
and you put your name in there.
What's the purpose of these?
Discussing the contract and so
The
on.
contract for the,
Negotiations?
the redraft.
Yeah,
Contract
contract
negotiations.
negotiations. I'll make a motion
Did
to
you
go
get
into
that,
Then
executive
inviting,
session.
then you gotta invite the people, you gotta say who you're inviting into the executive
She
session.
does.
Debbie Witten.
Witten,
I have to
right.
do
Witten.
that.
Lisa, you wanna
I'm sure.
come up?
Abby-
Yeah,
And Joe made the motion. I need a second.
a second.
Okay, all in favor?
And it's now.
Okay, let me just-
Great spot.
Oh, sure. Let me turn the tape off.
So Kyle,